Well, as the old saying goes, the 12th time is the charm. As the overall glaring talent advantage the Lakers hold over their opponents and recent daddy, the Denver Nuggets, in this Western Conference first-round matchup finally won the day. And a single game in the process. The win, the first for LA over Denver since December 16th of 2022. And this was bound to happen, as LA has pretty obviously been the better team in this series for the vast majority of all 4 games. And Game 4 in Los Angeles marked the 4th time in 4 games of this series where the Lake Show held a double-digit lead and the lead at halftime. But unlike the 3 previous games, the Lakers finally managed not to vomit all over themselves at some point in the second half. And the Nuggets, who have somehow, some way, managed to not only beat this Lakers team 11 straight times heading into last night's game, but also somehow won the NBA championship last year despite a fairly average lineup, certainly finally looked like the one lone all-star roster that they are. A lineup that, if you really investigate how limited the talent pool is surrounding Nikola Jokic, can explain just why he is well on his way to winning a 3rd MVP in 4 seasons. And Jokic, for his standards, likely had a pretty poor game, finishing the night with a mere 33 points, 14 rebounds, and 14 assists, but on a far less efficient than usual 10 of 20 from the field. While Jamal Murray, the alleged superstar that mostly every basketball casual asserts should be an all-star, continues his heinous and reprehensible series, averaging just 21.5 points per game on only 38% from the field and 21% from the three-point line.
It's garbage!
While the star of Game 3, Aaron Gordon, also fell back to reality last night, scoring just 7 points on 3 of 7 from the field, and the Nuggets bench combined for just 5 points on 1 of 9 from the field. The Lakers, meanwhile, as the Lakers have been all season and postseason long, were led by elite two-way player Anthony Davis on both ends of the floor, dropping a 2020 game. 25 points, 23 rebounds, and he tied Austin Reeves for a team-high 6 assists. And this was all while posting a plus 11 for the game. And speaking of Austin Reeves, to go along with those 6 assists, Reeves added 21 points on 7 of 15 from the field, while preeminent LeBron scapegoat D'Angelo Russell also had himself a big night, dropping 21 points on 8 of 15 from the field and 4 of 8 from the three-point line, while posting a team-high plus 15 for the game. And finally, credit where credit is due to LeBron James for doing what he is expected to do in leading this team in shots and points last night. It's what this team needs him to be. They cannot be continually reliant on AD to lead them in scoring and anchor the defense while playing straight up on the best player in the world for massive stretches of these games. And finally, LeBron was able to live up to his end of the bargain, and all it took was a 3-0 hole for him to do it. And for the playoffs to this point, Anthony Davis is second league-wide in scoring behind only Joel Embiid on the strength of his recent 50-point game, while Davis is also leading the postseason in rebounds, dropping an all-around absurd line through 4 games against the Nuggets of 30.5 points per game, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists, while leading the playoff field in minutes per game at 42 a night, and he is second in player efficiency rating and second in win shares, behind only Nikola Jokic to this point of the playoffs. So while the series is now set to shift back to Denver for Game 5, and while no team has ever overcome the 0-3 deficit the Lakers had just found themselves in a few days ago, it is now a 3-1 series hole for LA, and a few teams have overcome that, 13 to be precise. And what is required to do so is an overwhelming talent discrepancy over your opponent, a far superior roster that has botched and choked games away way to that point of the series. And well, the Lakers seem to be a match for all of these qualifiers. A team that has dominated the vast majority of the series to this point just needs to continue to find a way to close those games in clutch time. And for the self-proclaimed king and alleged GOAT, all he has to do is continue to be the third best player in this series. Seems like a pretty fair ask, but if the past can serve as any kind of precedent for LeBron in critical playoff situations, he will somehow, some way, find a way to fail.